G'day team, my name's Tyrrell and I'm the Ambassador for the Australian Warfighters Wealth Program, and I'm here today with Tony Kofkin, who is the Managing Partner for Australia of Kofkin Bond Co, who are the company that have developed and are delivering the Australian Warfighters Wealth Program for us veterans and ex-service personnel. G'day Tony, how you going, mate?
Very well, thank you, sir.
That's the way, good to see you. Mate, let's get down to tin tacks. What is the Australian Warfighters Wealth Program?
The Australian Warfighters Wealth Program is specifically tailored financial services for veterans.
Okay.
So it's been tailored, rather than just your straightforward financial planning, it's been tailored around veterans to be able to help them in their journey after they have actually retired from the armed services.
Yeah, sure, because there are a number of unique factors around ex-service people, whether they're veterans or non-veterans, regarding leaving the services and I guess sort of starting over again and moving into a civilian life. So Kofkin Bond Co through this program have developed some specific techniques to deal or to work with that sort of client.
We have. There's a range of issues that I suppose ex-service personnel actually have to consider, and we actually have to consider on their behalf. Things like, for example, have they had PTSD, dealing with Department of Veterans Affairs, dealing with advocates on their behalf, ensuring that they are getting the entitlements that they specifically are entitled to.
Yeah. And
then on top of that, taking it one step further, these veterans still are looking at their retirement. They've still got specialist estate planning needs. You know, a lot of them have children, and it is about creating their own wealth moving forward. Then it's not just a case of that it's now over, what do I do? It's a case of, well, you're still going to be moving forward in life. How do I best structure everything to make sure I'm getting the most out of everything that you do?
Yeah, and that's what I love about this is that we're not sort of saying, okay, your career's over, now you need to survive. What we're saying is the career's over, now we need to make sure that you thrive and you become really successful, as wealthy and as comfortable as possible.
Absolutely. Yeah. In the most strategic, tax-effective way that actually doesn't put stress on them. Financial stress is not a good thing.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I guess that moves me on to my second point, is about why did we do this? So Tony and I have a long history. It's like 37 or 38 years that we've known each other. And he knows my background of 24 years in the military. And when we made contact a few years ago, we started talking about what we could do to help ex-servicemen, veterans, non-veterans alike. And part of that was, we had a whole bunch of ideas, but sitting right underneath our nose was what Tony does. And in my work with the veteran community, I noticed that there are layers of stress. So, you know, a veteran or an ex-service person may have PTSD. Layered on top of that, they've got the stress of losing their career, losing their brotherhood, losing the thing that they gave them purpose in life. But another layer was the financial stress. And so I knew that that you were really good at what you do. Having just recently, or the last few years, won award after award for doing this sort of stuff for people. And so what we did is we kind of went, well, why can't we develop a program where we specifically tailor it for ex-serving personnel here in Australia? So that's what we did, and we've noticed with the people that we've come through so far that they're no longer just surviving, they're thriving. It's had a ripple-on effect to the families and to their health, general health. Yep. That stress has been taken away from them. And in effect, they've built another tribe around themselves. So Kofkin Bond Co has become a trusted friend and an ally that stays with them for the whole duration of the rest of their life, and managing their funds on their behalf, taking all that complicated stuff out of the scenario and just leaving them with the benefits.
Absolutely. I think one of the key words you actually used there, Kyle, was actually tribe. And when your tribe is taken off you, whether you're a retired sports person, in this case retired from the military, you're used to actually being with people that everyone relies on each other and works well together, and as a result everyone, when it comes to the military, is in a safer position. And what happens when that's taken off you? I suppose one of the good things is, through this medium as an example with Facebook, is it's starting to reconnect. But it's not waking up with your buddies anymore. It's not waking up knowing that somebody has your back. And when you consider, we do a lot of work with large companies where we look after employees, because if you're suffering financial stress, you don't have balance in your life. Financial stress will go, and it will affect your home life. It will affect your family life. It will affect your sleeping patterns, which will affect your health. So there's a whole range of things where, when people talk about balance in life, it's not just getting the work-life balance, it's getting, life has so many different wedges in it. We're part of that. And if you think of an ex-military who serviceman or woman who is suffering, say, PTSD, having a trusted source to go to be able to say, am I on the right track? Can I do something better? Or more to the fact of, they can sleep at night knowing things are being looked after, is something that is vitally important. And as you're correct in saying, the feedback that we've actually got has been sensational. And it all comes down to them at least knowing that if they have a question, no such thing as a stupid question, only a stupid answer. If they have a question, they can ring up and ask, or shoot an email, and it's answered. Yeah.
And so the way that I've sort of felt it, being an ex-military officer, is that Kofkin Bond Co have kind of become a part of the crew. So if you're ex-Navy, these guys are like your navigator. If you're Air Force, these guys are part of the crew. They're on the plane with you. If you're ex-Army, if you're, they're a part of the team. I was talking earlier and mentioned that as an infantry commander, I had someone that would call in the indirect fire support for me, and these guys are just like that trusted advisor that I had in my command team. So to me, that's how it works. You can hand it over to them, you can give them what effect you want, and they'll go and do it for you. Highly, highly trustworthy. So Tony, how does it work? How does, if someone's listening to this, a warfighter is out there listening to this and saying, I need to be a part of this, how do they go about doing it?
The first thing is actually just to make contact, whether it be through our Facebook page, or pick up the phone and give us a call, or just send a message on the Facebook page. The very first thing is actually making contact. And one thing I really want to stress to all you guys out there is, don't feel intimidated, or don't think, I don't know what I'm talking about. If you did know everything, you wouldn't actually have to make a call to us. And I really stress that point of, make contact, send us a message, have a chat to myself or one of our trusted advisors, principal advisors in here. And what they'll do in that first chat is, you basically say, here's where I am, here's what I want to do, can I be doing better? And what we'll be able to do in that first initial conversation is be able to work out, first of all, can we actually help you? Your situation might actually be great. It might need a lot of work, and if we can help you, that's when it then goes to the strategic side, where we will gather the normal process of gathering all your information, finding out what your goals are, finding out what you want to achieve, and then putting a strategic plan in place to help you get to where you want to go. And I will stress something too. Financial freedom is different for every single individual. What you regard as financial freedom, what I regard, could be two completely different levels. So financial freedom is going to be very different. And so once again, it's not about one plan for all military here or ex-military. It's actually, what do you want to achieve, what can you achieve, and how can you get the best result from what you currently have right now. That's what it's our job to do.
Well, I think that's one of the things that that really strikes me about the way that you guys go about your business is, firstly, it's a tailored solution to you, not a tailored solution to everyone who has served in the military. So it's a very tailored solution. The strategy that goes on now for the rest of your life with these guys is tailored to you, and it's constantly updated and monitored, so it can change along the way to ensure that you keep hitting your goals. The other thing that I'll say is that a lot of you listening may think, well, I don't know what goal I want to achieve financially. I've got no idea. I've just been happy to get out, and maybe you've got a bit of a pension or you might have a job or something. I'm just happy to be able to keep getting money. These guys will help you realise what you could achieve if you wanted to. So if you've got no idea, that's fine. Give them a call and they'll be able to say, look, this is achievable, this might be a goal for you, or this might be a goal for you. And so they'll help you through the whole process. You don't need to worry about that. The third thing that I really like about it is that if this company here is one of 1% of the financial services industry that does not charge, that is not product based. They're completely independent. So the strategy, what they do for you is for you, not because they make money off selling a particular product in self-managed funds or insurance or anything like that. It's specifically to reach your goal. And based on that, if they can't help you after the first initial meeting or phone call, if they can't help you, they'll say, there's nothing we can really do for you. But you will walk away from that.
I was going to say, can I interrupt you there for a moment?
Yep.
There's been on a couple of occasions where that has actually occurred. But on one of those occasions, it was a case of, right now there's nothing we can do, but I don't know if you're getting everything that you should, and that individual was referred to an advocate,
Yep.
who now actually they are getting better benefits by actually just being in contact with an advocate who understood where they were and what they were doing, and they were missing out on part of their benefit. And there was another individual who there was nothing we could do for them now, but there was a few things that have to be put in place. So in actual fact, we've got a family lawyer to get in contact with him to help him get through a whole range of situations with an ex-wife before any process that was actually put in place. So even though there was nothing that we could do for him now, in several months there will be. And his affairs will be able to be looked after. But there's a process that has to be followed. So when you go back and we talk about the fact that we're not product-based, we're not. It's about strategy. And you know, if I give the example of a young guy who works here, it's his first full-time job. His goal within the next 5 years is to be a financial planner. Now that young guy, you know, he happens to be my son, so I do have a soft spot for him. But as an example, one of the goals that he said is he wants to buy a property. He wants to buy an apartment. He loves the inner city. He wants to buy an apartment. So what we're doing now is we're putting away 50% of his salary, because he doesn't have any overheads, realistically, besides his car. We're putting away 50% of his salary to save towards that goal of him buying his first property. That might be something that these guys might want to, except it could be an investment property that they might be looking at. It's always about strategy. It's not about a product. It's not about a superannuation fund that my parent company, you know, has to sell and things like that. So I will stress, Cole did use the word independent before. By law, we're not allowed to use that word, but we are not owned by, I just sort of exercise, but our licensee is not owned by a product manufacturer. So what that means is we can actually offer strategy that is not product related and product based. So I'll just stress that. So it's, but it really comes down to, it doesn't matter whether it is that young kid, you know, and with people our age nowadays, we regard everyone as young, but that young guy or girl who just wants to save for that first property, or somebody who is in their 50s and saying, well, I do want to retire in the next 15 years. Where am I on track to actually getting there? Or somebody who has young children and just needs to make sure there's something was to happen to them, that those kids are looked after. That money doesn't necessarily get to the ex-wife or the ex-husband, and those children are financially looked after for life as well. They're the important parts. So,
guys, with this first conversation that you have with Kofkin Bond Co, you will walk away with something. Whether they take you on as a client or not, you walk away, at the very least, you walk away with knowing where you sit financially. But we have seen, as Tony said, a number of value adds where, you know, between us, we've identified that that particular person needs the help of an advocate. So we've put them in touch with an advocate, or we've, you know, said to them, look, here's a bit of a plan for you to put in place. Once you've achieved that, then let's talk about moving you forward from there. So you won't lose out by having a chat to them. So Tony, I think we've just about covered everything.
Yeah.
So thanks very much
Thank
for
you.
your time. I appreciate it.
I'm really looking forward to this. It's been a good 18 months in the making,
Yeah.
to make sure we get it right.
Yeah.
And as you said, we have dealt with some wonderful people today. Really enjoyed the work we've done so far, and really enjoying doing this for the next 20 plus years with you.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, thanks guys. Thanks for tuning in. Please give this a like. Spread it around to people that you may, or share it with people that you may think will get some value out of it. Put it on other pages for us, and let's try and get the financial stress alleviated off Australian warfighters, off Australian veterans. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you again soon.